Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Listen, man, boxing's a brutal business. And we can apply that directly to a lot of people, but especially Claressa Shields. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome back to the channel. I just think we need to dive into something a lot of people are. I think some people are scared to touch, but on my channel, especially during the lives, the call-ins, there are a lot of callers who are mentioning this. We're talking about how boxing is a brutal business, not just inside the ring, but outside of it. Because in boxing, punches don't always knock you out, but your public image can. Now, I'll say this. This morning I found out that Joseph Parker tested positive for cocaine. And unlike Claressa Shields, Joseph Parker is seen as a good guy, a nice guy, very personable, just has the kind of energy, man, a family man, has the kind of energy where people want to be around him. But he did test positive for traces of, cocaine in his system. And that test was taken on the night where he fought Fabio Wardley. Now, Claressa Shields is seen in a negative light as angry, miserable, confrontational, but she's never tested positive for anything around drugs, peds, nothing, okay? But you take a look at Joseph Parker and see how his reputation has just been destroyed, okay? Now, he still has to come back and try to answer questions and explain himself and provide his B samples. But what I'm getting at is, if you have someone who's seen as a good guy and then suddenly can be knocked down, kicked and stomped on by boxing fans, right? Because of this positive test. What do you think is going to happen to Claressa Shields if she doesn't get her stuff together? It doesn't have to be anything around drugs or positive tests. But if it did, well, she had the stuff with the weed back in the day, but I don't know what happened with that. But if something was to come out right now, why do you think people will handle her? But you see, this is why we need to sit here and have this discussion, In boxing, the punches don't knock you out. It's not always the punches inside that ring, but your public image can. And that's why I think it's important to talk about Claressa Shields, man, someone who has achieved more than most people in boxing history. And that's something I think is just being overlooked when it comes to Claressa Shields. But you know why it's being overlooked? But even though I've been talking about her more than normal, it's because Claressa Shields got her shit together, man, when it comes to fighting. But somehow Claressa Shields stays locked in the middle of negativity. Controversy, arguments, threats, Twitter wars, beefs, podcast battles, and now lawsuits against content creators. So I just think we need to try to understand this matter, break it down, why image is money, and how her approach can either make her millions or cost her millions. So, let's talk about it, because boxing is brutal, because that image is currency. A lot of fans don't understand this. Boxing is not just punches and belts. Boxing is business first. Layla Ali hit the nail on the head, a fighter's brand, and I'm just kind of rewording what she said, but essentially is their real paycheck. Your brand is everything. It's a kind of, hey, what you see without knowing me is what you're going to get. And Claressa Shields needs to understand that. What we're seeing, what we're hearing, because we don't know you necessarily, but this is what that's communicating to me, is this is what we're going to get. Promoters don't sell punches. You know what I'm saying? They sell, do people like you? Do people feel connected to you? The promoters are out here trying to sell. Do the fans want to see you? And this is the part that applies to Claressa Shields more than anyone. You listen to Eddie Hearn talk about fighters that he brings over, their profiles, their brand, their platform, being marketable. Everybody looks at Jake Paul. Man, let me tell you, there's a lot to be learned from Jake Paul. I said this before, I'm going to say it again. He may seem cartoonish to a lot of people. I understand because he's always out here joking and just doing what Jake Paul does. But you look at Jake Paul, he's a promoter's dream. That's why Jake Paul's been able to come into boxing and do what he's done. You know, people like him. People feel connected to him. And people want to see him. That's it. Now you come and look at Claressa Shields right now. Do people like her now? How many people like her now compared to before the Layla Ali beef? How many people feel connected to her now before the Layla Ali beef? How many people want to see her right now opposed to before the Layla Ali beef? Look, the reality is maybe not. Maybe things have kind of gone left on her. We understand. We understand what she's done in boxing. I'm not even going over that shit no more. We know what she's done. But those accomplishments don't protect your wallet. Your reputation does. Fans make or break these athletes, these entertainers. It's all about the fans. If the fans don't like you as a fighter, then the network doesn't like the fighter either. Pretty damn simple. If the network doesn't like the fighter, then what happens? They don't really want you there, but maybe they put you on, and then the purse shrinks. And if the purse shrinks, you're not getting that Wu-Tang cream, cha-ching, ching, dollar bill, y'all. That fighter becomes hard to book, difficult to promote, and eventually too expensive to bother with. And the harsh truth, I'm going to say it, man. Claressa is slowly walking towards that cliff. Matter of fact, she may be running towards that cliff. But it does seem like she's trying to work some things out and change her image and come out here, man. And like it seems like maybe she's understanding a little bit that, you know, I got something special, but I don't know. Time will tell. So where Claressa Shields goes wrong. Let me just say this, right? Being right doesn't mean that you're marketable. You can be right all you want, you can be right all along. And we can all agree you're right, 100% right. But that's not the same as being marketable. Claressa believes I win, I dominate, I achieve. Therefore, everyone should praise me. Hey, look at me. I'm the GWOAT. Pat. Look, tell them, Pat, they need to praise me. They need this. I'm the winner. I'm the this. I win. I dominate. I achieve. Pat. But the world doesn't work like that. Some people win and still get booed. Why? Because fans don't buy skills. They buy energy, they buy feeling, they buy personality. And let's just be real here. Claressa's personality is often defensive, combative, ready to argue, ready to fight outside the ring, ready to clap back, ready to sue. I'm sure next she'll be ready to bite somebody. You can't be a superstar and be out here going to war with everyone. You just can't do that. I know I don't like saying what a person can and can't do. I can say you can do what you want, but there are consequences. But I'm going to go ahead and say that you can't be a superstar and say, I only want compliments, no criticism allowed. No criticism allowed. How you come up with that? How you figure you're going to be a superstar, an A-lister, this amazing athlete, you know what I'm saying? This millions of dollars, ching, ching, bling, bling, Wu-Tang cream, right? But no one can criticize you? You crazy? People criticize. Everybody gets criticized, especially when you're out here in the social media platforms. But when you are on the level of a Claressa Shields, there is no one walking the face of this planet or who has walked the face of this planet who has done what Claressa Shields has done as a female fighter. No one. Zero. It doesn't exist. No one. She don't quite get that shit. You are in a position where people are going to criticize you. That's how it works, being a celebrity. You're a superstar. So if you are what you say you are, you're a superstar. So act like one, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference between confidence and combustion. Confidence is going to build fans. That's why a lot of people were supporting her. She's always had the support, especially from the ladies, young and old. I had someone this morning, since I put that phone number out there, it's off, you know what I'm saying, unless I'm on live. But I actually got a call this morning, a 73-year-old. She called me and said, I used to love Claressa Shields. I just wanted to call you to tell you that I don't like her no more. She sucks. She got a bad attitude. She acts the fool. I said, really? She said, yeah, that's all I want to say. Click. I said, damn. Message. Pay attention, man. Confidence builds fans. Combustion burns bridges. Bridges are getting burned right now. When Claressa speaks, it comes across like, I'm the greatest, you're stupid. I'm okay, you're not okay. Layla Ali's a bomb. She's irrelevant. Don't criticize me or I'll sue you. I'll poke you in the eye. I'll do something to you you're not going to like. I'll make you uncomfortable. Pap, papoose, pap, pap, pap. Tell him, Pap. I don't play, Pap. Tell him, Pap. That's not confidence. That's a PR nightmare with gloves on. People don't want that, man. We don't want that. We understand what we're dealing with out here, but some people call this shit the lawsuit era. This is where the trouble begins, you know what I'm saying? Threatening to sue content creators. That's the craziest shit ever. I saw that guy post that stuff. I said, what? One thing to come out here and argue with him and disagree and go back and forth. That's kind of cool, you know what I mean? Goes with the territory. We ain't going to do nothing but talk about it, laugh, and people going to sit here and comment. But you start talking about trying to sue people, man. Let me tell you something. That shit is a lose-lose situation. Lose-lose situation, man. Because what happens is you looking real insecure. You looking thin-skinned. You'll continue to lose fans. You feed into haters. Damn nose itching. Think I was on that Joseph Parker on that yayo. But you lose fans, you feed in haters. If you don't want people to talk about you and criticize you, man, let me tell you something. Should have never, ever messaged that guy. Matter of fact, maybe because I'm from the old school, you should know not to be sending no messages to nobody. Don't write nothing, nothing from nothing, leave nothing. Don't give them anything they can use against you. Even phone calls. These people are so damn sharp, boy. You call somebody, they got a way to record the shit. You just can't win out here. You just can't win. But the bottom line is she's giving food to feed the haters. She's giving every blogger and YouTuber a new topic. And, for those of us who got a little bit of brain, you can take that topic and create 100 videos off of that one topic. It's not hard to do. And you unintentionally advertise the negative videos more. And the irony, how about this? Hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. Stop taking it to the lawsuit. You can't sue public opinion. Opinion. People had a right to like you or dislike your ass. So simple. Trying to control the internet always backfires. You can't control the internet. Stay the hell off the internet. The internet is dangerous. You walking around here trying to threaten people with shit and say things about these YouTubers, man, that's like, you just go step on a landmine. That shit will blow up. They will cripple your ass. Because that's what they do. They enjoy this shit. They wake up, you give them a reason to look up and find dirt on you and do a video on your ass. They can't wait to do that. And they're going to create YouTube shorts and create clips and go live And they'll probably make a little $500 off of your narcissistic ego. And that's exactly what you got here, trying to understand the science behind these behaviors. Why does a person react this way? And Claressa Shields ain't the only one, but there's quite a few people who act that way. And just from the little bit of research I was able to do, I think it's just like exhibiting traits of what psychologists call narcissistic ego protection. Then there's something called praise dependency, defensive self-image orientation, conflict-based attention seeking, external validation reliance, low criticism tolerance. I mean, shit, even I got a little bit of that shit. I only want to hear so much bullshit about Hood Champion. Then I got to put, there's my belt to ass, now foot to ass, and maybe, the bing bings on you. But look, let's understand this when it comes to the GWOAT. Tell him, Pap, tell him, Pap. She's not a bad person. And none of the stuff that I just went over doesn't mean she's a bad person. It means she's developed a coping mechanism built around never appearing vulnerable and never accepting imperfection. I know someone who has that. They don't want to appear vulnerable. They don't want to accept imperfection. It's a coping mechanism. And the mindset is, if you're criticizing me, you're disrespecting me. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I remember I was at a park one day. Back in the day, my oldest son was in kindergarten. And he was running around at the playground. They had just got out of school. And we were at the playground. And the kids used to come out there and run around and play for about 15 minutes. So my son's running around. This guy's son is running around with him. And there was a couple of the girls from the class, all in kindergarten. Yeah, they're all in kindergarten running around. Anyway, this guy had like a 1-year-old, right? And he went and put his 1-year-old. There was a little small slide for little toddlers. Dumbass put the little girl up there. So she's like, this is the slide. She's standing here at the top. But she's a year old. She doesn't know to sit down and slide down. So she walks, she steps, and then, it's like basically she steps from here. She just steps out, like on air. What you think could happen? She just, bam, she hit the slide. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh shit. So then he runs over there, right? And he gets her. And I'm like, damn, I see, yo, she all right? And he was like, oh, you judging me? You judging me? And, I just saw red, because what I wanted to say was like, stupid MFer, you the one who went out there, bozo, and just put your 1-year-old up there and didn't pay attention. But I took a deep breath, because my son's there, there's kids there, and I told him, I was like, put that energy into taking care of your daughter. And then I just walked off. And then he tried to apologize to me later, but I'm one of them kind of people. I can be a kind of way, But I was just like, man, get the F out of here. Come out there because you don't want to accept imperfection. You dropped the ball. You don't want to appear vulnerable because you didn't know, you weren't thinking, putting safety first for your child. And there's some people like that. You get mad at me because you ain't watch your child. It ain't my fault she fell down, you know what I'm saying? It's your fault, stupid. But people like that, and they have those mindsets. If you criticize me, or if you're disrespecting me, or you say something or ask me something, and if it's something I don't want to be asked or something, then you're attacking me. But the thing is, in the real world, criticism is part of the job. And for Claressa Shields, criticism is part of the job. Claressa, she fights the criticism like it's a damn 12-round opponent. It's crazy. And I'm going to tell you this right now, just from me sitting back watching boxing, like a lot of you for a long time, boxing doesn't reward emotional fights. They reward the physical ones. And here's the funny part. Like in the ring, Claressa's calm. She's smart, calculated, controlled. She can get a little emotional, but for the most part, she knows to control that fire. But outside the ring, she fights everybody. random fans, content creators, blogs, retired legends, media members, goddamn people in the grocery store, people who ask what time is it, you know what I mean? If she go out there and she see a dog, she'll try to encourage the dog to bite the cat. I mean, there's always something going on with her. It's like she's undefeated in boxing, but 0-45 in public relations, you know? And the truth, public relations pays more than boxing belts and titles. You can't be up in the grocery store fighting people because there's only one bag left and you need to get it and put some grapes or cilantro or green onion or ginger, thyme, oregano, or whatever in the bag. And there's only one bag. Now you fighting grandma in there? You fighting a pop. Grandma and grandpa, you in there want to go and throw blows with them and shit? Ridiculous. But when you like that, you know, your attitude could cost you money. Promoters hate unpredictability. They don't want to be there working with you and not knowing if you're going to snap on them and bite them and shit. They don't want a crocodile. They want a champion. No promoter wants to deal with a fighter who might, number one, bite them. Two, explode on social media. Turn every interview into a war. Alienate fans. Come out here starting beef with legends. Message. Threatening lawsuits. Shift the conversation from boxing to drama. Man, drama gets clicks but loses sponsors. Talking about just like my name's trending, my name's viral, this, that, for the wrong reasons. That ain't going to bring no one to you. You know what I'm saying? That's just not going to, it's just not going to work out. And I'm going to tell you this right now, man. Brands run from aggressive personalities. People run from aggressive personalities. No one wants to be around someone who's just aggressive and negative all the time and just unpredictable and temperamental. Nobody wants to be around that shit. And when it comes to, you know, branding, let me tell you something. Companies don't want ambassadors who attack fans, attack media, attack culture figures, use hostile language in public, especially in rap videos. You were stupid and something, and a hot potato scratch my ass and jump up in there. Nobody wants to hear that cussing, craziness, shooting, punching, this and that. Hostile language in public. It's unacceptable. But then you want to make every conversation about being disrespected. Brands want people who look like leaders, not people who look like they need conflict to survive. It ain't rocket science, people. They want a fighter who can build an audience, not divide the audience. And I'm going to tell you right now, Claressa has incredible achievements. I'm going to keep saying it. Because sometimes people don't want to hear the good. They just want to focus on the challenging parts of the conversation. But I think her audience is split. I do. I think her audience is split. And it's a pretty clean split. Maybe I'm going to try to be fair, right? Not make jokes and shit. She probably has 50% who are admirers. The other 50% are just annoyed and don't like her. 0% is neutral. And neutral people equal casual fans, which equals most of boxing's revenue. She needs to have some neutral people. And when you don't have casual fans supporting you, that equals small paydays. And I know she's talking about, this is historic, and I'm just, making all this money now, and I'm getting a private jet, and, I'm going to go to the moon, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to prove Elon Musk ain't got nothing on me. I'm going to get a rocket ship, and we're going to fly around, and I'm going to be there drinking amaretto sours with orange juice, because a hood champion used to drink those back in the day. And I'm going to have, I'm going to have one person with me. You know who I'm going to have with me? Pat, let's go to the moon, Pat, we going to the moon? Where you want to go, Pat? Jupiter? Where we going, Pat? Watch out, Pat. What the hell was that, Pat? The meteor? What is that, Pat? They got meteors out here? Bring my pumpkin spice latte over here, Pat. Yo. I'm giving y'all the brutal truth, man. Talent doesn't equal money. It don't mean anything, man. Personality equals money. be out here at the job. You have somebody, man, who can get the job done. You give them a task. It take everybody else a week to do it. They get that shit done in an hour. You got a Superman or Superwoman on the job. Good for the company. You want them on the team. But the personality is a shit sandwich stinking up the place. What's going to happen? They ain't going to get promoted because personality equals money. They're gonna be sidelined at some point in time. So talent doesn't equal money. Personality equals money. And that's just the brutal truth. Shields has the resume of a legend. We know that. She tells us all the time. All right, okay, we get it. But the personality of someone who can't afford this is the thing. Resume of a legend, personality of someone who can't afford to lose fans. With that personality, she got to be very careful. So you say, all right, well, you saying all this. Can't she fix everything? She needs to, she looks like she's trying. I ain't gonna lie. She's trying to rebrand, but it's more like she's trying to force it on us. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's trying to force it on us. Like you got that child that's like, you make a nice meal for me, boom, you cook up a little chicken and fried rice. You got a little salad, a little watercress. You got a little piece of dessert there. You, boom, you made him a nice little cup of some fresh juice you got for the baby, and then bam, you got salad. The cucumber, onion, you got some tomato there, but there's some broccoli there as well. The child don't want the broccoli. The child like, all right, well, look, I'll eat a little bit of the watercress or cucumber. I'm trying. I'll just kind of ease into it. But you come and force the broccoli down their mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't force people to believe that you're able to do something now that you weren't able to do before. You know what I'm saying? She's just basically trying to force shit down us. Like, we sitting here watching, just think that little kid, man, all right, I believe you that the vegetables are good, and we believe you. Just let me take a little cucumber there. Boom, let me take a little piece of this carrot here. Take out one little piece of lettuce, a piece of watercress, and just give me just the stem, this little piece. They're seeing, you know, what exactly is going on here. And that's what we're doing with Claressa Shields. We're kind of sitting back watching. What direction is she going here? But she don't want to just let us just sit back and take time to figure out what we're seeing, to adjust our eyeballs and minds and decide on whether we like it or not. Nah, she want to come do us like the mother and father, the critical parent with the child there, and take that broccoli and just shove it in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Put it all up in their mouth and shit. That's what she's trying to do, shove it down our throats. That I've rebranded. I've shifted now. I'm the greatest, and you better say it is no more. Now I'm going to say I'm the greatest, and I uplift other women in the sport. You see, I'm trying. Now, get back on the Claressa Shields bandwagon. Hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. It doesn't work that way. Keep rebranding. Keep doing that. I'm the greatest, and I'm here to uplift other women in the sport, young girls, this and that. Going to Dallas next week. I'm going to be going out there mentoring and holding a camp or something. Go ahead, talk about that. Because, I know I'm paying attention. And definitely, man, less fighting online. More visibility offline. Silence is one of the most deadly weapons. Take it easy. She need to be appearing on podcasts. You need to come on over here to my channel and talk. We want to hear from you. Ain't nobody going to attack you. I ain't going to attack you at all. I wouldn't do that. Go on the morning shows. She did CBS. She was talking about this the devils and levels of devils, and Scooby snacks, and whatever the hell she was talking about. Get into the magazines. More than what you've done. Put out inspiring content. Inspiring rap songs. Not you a stupid ever on the internet, but something meant to punch you in the mouth and beat the peanut butter jelly pancakes with syrup. Nobody want to hear that shit. Do more community outreach and the charity events. Right now, she's only visible when she's mad. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. I understand apologize to nobody, but adjust everything. when it comes to the fans, don't necessarily need to come out here and try to apologize to all the fans. Just stop feeding negativity. But Layla Ali, she needs to apologize to her. She needs to apologize. She needs to apologize to the fans and Layla Ali and the Ali family for how she tried to use that Ali last name for monetary gain. That's what she needs to do. But as far as just the fans out here who are kicking in the ass, you ain't gotta apologize to nobody. But just stop feeding the negativity and everything will resolve itself on its own. And make sure you got a good PR stuff. I think she got somebody working with her because you can see she's trying. Even some of the messages that show up in your comment section, I know for a fact Claressa Shields ain't write that shit. I know she ain't typing that. But whoever's doing it, even they need help because they be shit that should be capitalized, don't have commas where it should be, apostrophes where it should be, writing in the wrong tenses. But it's pretty good. I'm not judging. I'm just sitting back making an observation. But a good publicist would turn lawsuits to empowerment, negativity to leadership, arguments to mentorship, defensiveness to confidence, aggression to humor. Because what her resume says, she is, a leader. I keep saying, top 1%. She's the only female boxer walking the face of this planet who has her accomplishments. So, fans want to respect her. They want to support her. They want to call her, the face of women's boxing. She's going to continue calling herself the self-proclaimed GWOAT because there's so much to being the greatest woman of all time. It ain't just what you've done as a fighter. If we're talking resumes alone, some people will sit there and argue that shit. They'll start bring up Amanda Serrano immediately and start making comparisons. But she has to behave like the face of women's boxing if she wants anyone to take her serious. Not the villain who accidentally became champion. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, boxing is brutal because public image is money. Cha-ching, ching, Wu-Tang cream, dollar, dollar, you finish the rest. If fans feel pushed away, the sport pushes away too, and that's exactly what you're seeing. Everyone's pushing away from her. They don't want to be nowhere near her, man. Greatest fighter, one of the greatest fighters of all time, period, male or female. She deserves that title as one of the greatest, male or female. She's just been doing it for a long time and just winning. But I just think when it comes to greatness in boxing, it's not measured only by belts, medals, undisputed, whatever the accomplishment is. It's not only measured by that, all right? It's measured by how many people want to see you win and how you treat people. And right now, I'm just not sure there are many people compared to before that want to see her win. But she can fix it. She can flip it. She can become the leader women's boxing would benefit from. I don't know if women's boxing needs her as a leader, but she seems to want that role. But I tell you what, first and foremost, she's got to stop punching the world, stop punching the fans, and start inviting everyone in. So how can she do that? They need to start first and foremost with getting some help. Let me say, just because you go get help don't mean you belong in the loony bin. That don't mean you're going to be out there in Debo pigeon coop, man, cooing like a goddamn pigeon and scratching your head and eating goddamn worms and grubs and shit. That doesn't mean anything. It don't mean you out there running up and down the road in your drawers with a wife beater. It just means that you're trying to become a better person and grow. And that's what I think Claressa Shields, that's where I think she's at right now. Start there and everything should fall into place. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I just think she's destroying her own legacy. She's going to keep losing fans. And in the ring, she's a champion, but she's a menace online. So she just got to understand her own image. Because what I just delivered is the real problems, the real things that I see going on with Claressa Shields that some people may want to tiptoe around and not say. But there are a lot of people who are saying it as well. You know what I'm saying? So, one of the greatest of all time, man. For real, she is one of the greatest boxers of all time. But the public image is in serious trouble. What's she going to do? I don't know. But we were brutally honest here today, so hopefully she listens. And, let's see if she come on the channel so we can have a conversation. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.